Shout out to Raphael Warnock, first black senator in Georgia history. He's actually the reverend of the Great Ebenezer Church in Atlanta. And as I said, he's just been elected senator of the state. And his election is very symbolic, is very historical for multiple reasons. Number one, he heads a church that was once headed by the great Martin Luther King. Right? Martin Luther King was the pastor of that Ebenezer Church in Atlanta, and he became the pastor of it. And he actually, he loved Martin Luther King for a very long time. He actually went to Morehouse, which was a college Martin Luther King went to, just to be in his footsteps. He's a guy who's always studied Black history, and he's always been to it. He loved Minister Louis Farrakhan, which he actually tried to use against him, because Mr. Louis Farrakhan is not very popular, especially in Republican circles.
No, but he's banned from social media, right?
Every social media.
Yeah.
And he doesn't give a fuck. Because he's still as powerful as can be. And he's still getting through to the people that wants to hear him. You know what I mean? And number one, he's only the 11th black senator in U.S. history, which seems kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Famous Barack Obama and Miss Harris, Kamala Harris, I think was number 9 and number 10. So it hasn't been a lot of us. Even that sounds kind of crazy to me. Like, we don't even have 10 black senators in U.S. history. And as I said, he's the first one in the South. He's the first black senator in any southern state, any former Confederate state. Sorry, guys, we had to take a quick intermission. So, yeah, as I said, he's the first black senator in any southern state. And what the fuck do I want to say? Number one, that's big. But specifically, Mal, I was trying to tell you this. Specifically for the runoff election, right? The fact that he won the runoff election, bro, was really, really big. So, I mean, I love to do research. So, I'm like, why is there a runoff election? Like, what sense does this make? Right? And if you guys don't know, runoff election is only used in 2 states in general elections, Georgia and Louisiana. And that's because there was this racist guy. I forget his name. He lost an election to a black man, I think in 1875 or somewhere around there.
I think it was recent.
No.
More recent than that.
It probably was in
the 1900s. Bro.
It was
not early. It was a clip like 1960s.
The guy died in 2002. So, yeah, definitely not in the 1800s. I'm chatting. Yeah. Like, maybe mid-90s or somewhere around there. And he lost to a black guy. And he said the reason why he lost is something called Negro block voting. Because at the time, black people were still very unified. And they all voted for, like, in state elections and local elections, they all voted for the black candidate if there was one. Because you're black, you guys know the struggle. You guys are probably all from the same community. You all are going to vote for one person. And you would have like 4 or 5 white people on that ticket, and they would split all the white votes. So even though white people are the majority in that state or that city or that town or whatever, the black person would win because all the black person voted for him, and the majority white vote are now split among 6 people. And he was like, this is unfair. This is unfair because how are we going to have a city, state, town, whatever, run by someone who the majority of people does not agree with? Which is, I'll be honest with you, it kind of makes sense. If you don't put it in the racial terms, it makes sense. Like, somehow this guy that everyone, 90% of the people would not vote for, ended up running because of Negro block voting. So the guy, he implemented that system, and it really fucked up all the voting power black people had. And it was literally meant for a black candidate to have a lot of votes, the second white candidate to move into basically a sudden death of elections where they go against each other. The white candidate always won because now all the white people are voting for that one candidate and the black guy has no chance of winning. What's so symbolic is that that's the exact type of matchup that this year's runoff election in Georgia created. A black man, Raphael Warnock, versus Kelly Loeffler, a white woman. And he fucking won. You know what I mean? That was amazing to me.
No, it was.
Psych.
How it was race incentive. It was a racist decision made for the runoff.
To be racist.
And Georgia ran off with it. It was like, okay, this makes sense. So we're going to keep it going because they could have easily stopped it. Georgia kept it going. And it happened. And we know the numbers of minorities to white people in Atlanta, right? The whole city.
Georgia,
the whole state. The whole state of Georgia. Mm-hmm. And he won.
And that's why I said in a short article I wrote, I was like, it may point to the fact that the morals of Southerners from former Confederate states are changing, that a lot of them would vote for a black senator. Mind you, a lot of people don't think that racism still exists. This is the fucking first black senator in the state's history. In any southern state, he's the first senator in any southern former Confederate state. Yeah. And it's 2021.
Imagine if MLK never got assassinated.
Word, bro.
1000%.
He probably would have.
MLK would have been the president easily.
You think so?
Oh yeah, easily. They had to get rid of him. But we're not on that. But you understand what I'm saying?
That's a great conversation. I want to do some research. I don't know if the country was ready for that back in the day.
That's why they got rid of him. JFK was going to allow it, bro.
Word.
They got rid of JFK. They got rid of the Kennedy brothers that would allow it. Robert Kennedy allowed the first black to go to Ole Miss. They got rid of them, bro.
Yeah. But yeah, as I said, bro, maybe the mindsets of the Southerners are changing. But one thing for sure is that black people have overcome an obstacle purposely put in our place to stop our, our political power, and we overcome it. And I think that's something that needs to be commended. I think that's something that we need to cheer on, and that's something that we need to make a bigger deal of. I'm probably gonna make we need to post something about this on the show, because it's one of those little nuanced things that I think is very, very fucking big for the black community and how resilient black people are. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry if this was a serious episode, but we had some serious shit to talk about.
Come on, the world need this.
You know what I mean?
Especially from the eyes of Nick and Mal.
So shout out to Raphael Warnock. Shout out to Jon Ossoff, because both Democratic senators won in the state of Georgia. And now Biden, as we said a few episodes ago, we on your motherfucking ass, nigga. Yeah, you got the Senate, you better make shit happen, bro. You know what I mean? And maybe I'll be a fan of you and your beautiful vice president at the end of this all, right? But for now, we got beef. You feel me? Now I want that ass. But that's all we got for y'all, man. Thank y'all for tuning into the Nick and Mal Show. We about to head to Utica and have a great weekend, and we're going to let y'all know how it was next week. We got Nick Falzone. We got Uncle Jack in the motherfucking building. This is probably going to be the best Nick and Mal Show ever.
Oh, man, the streets need this.
The streets need this, and the streets going to get it. Nick and Mal Show, we out, baby.
Split out.
Bow. Yep. Ever told on a nigga? No. Ever squeezed a trigger? Yep. Ever set a nigga up? No. Ever helped a brother out when he was down on his luck?